land. We plead with you, please don't go back to Egypt. You know what they did? They said, by the way, after considering all the evidence, you two are our problems. So what we are going to do, we are going to eliminate you right here and now. They took stones. What sin had they made? What sin had they made for them to die? But then, because already the devil had taken up these people, they decided to stone them. At that moment, my Bible tells me, the glory of the Lord came down. And when they saw the glory of God, then they stopped. And so here God comes and starts to say some serious things. He said, you know what? I took you from the land of Egypt. You have given me trouble 10 times in the wilderness. I said this, you said this. I said this, you said this. 10 times I have done it. But now to add insult to injury, today you are ready to kill people who come and tell you already what I have told you. You know what? Moses, Joshua, and Aaron, move to the other end. I am going to finish you right here and now. Right here, I'm going to finish you. And Moses knew, you know what? God is not a joke. He has said he's going to finish these people, he's going to finish them. And so Moses moves clearly and very fast and said, God, I want you just to listen a minute. Remember wherever you've taken us from. You've taken us all away from Egypt, now we are here. What is going to happen to people here that you have killed these people? He will say, you know, their God only wanted to kill them. And so God realizes, oh, it is true. Have you realized that you can make sense of God? Do you realize you can sit down and talk to God and try to talk to Him as a friend? Moses gives us a clear. He realized that these people are going to be finished. But he said, you know what? Instead of God finishing these people, let me finish them. And so God told him, all right, I'm not going to finish them. But something is tragic is going to happen. You have seen the land. You have tasted the fruits of the land. Anybody who is more than 20 years, you shall never set foot into that land. Remember, they could see it by far. They could see that is the land. But he told them, if you are 20 years and above, you're not going to see that land. Except Caleb and Joshua. Because they decided, let's read this verse. Let's read this verse. Chapter 14. Verse 20, 21, 22, and 23. Then the Lord said, I have pardoned according to your word. But truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Because of these men who have seen my glory and signs which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have put me to test now these 10 times, have not hidden my voice. They shall certainly not see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor shall any of those who rejected me see it. But to my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me fully, I will bring into the land where he went, and his descendants shall inherit it. God tells them, it's over for you. What I'm going to do, right now you are at the border of Canaan. It was only 7 days from where they were to get into the promised land. It was 7 days journey. But God tells them, you know what? I am going now to take you back to the wilderness. For 40 years, they were in the wilderness. Why? Because they decided they're not going to believe what God has said. They were going to believe what other men were telling them. And so, fast forward. Then, after now, they went into the wilderness for 40 years. Note, everybody else who was not 20 years and older, who was 20 years and older, died in the wilderness. And so, fast forward now, we come now to the book of Joshua. When we come now to the book of Joshua, now God gets the children of Israel into the promised land. When they get into the promised land, chapter 14, which we read chapter 14 from verse 6, all the way to verse 20 something. Now here comes Caleb. After 40 years, before he was sent to go into the promised land, he was 45 years old. And now it is after 40 years. So how old is he right now? 85 years old. He comes to Joshua and tells Joshua, it is now time for the inheritance to be inherited. They have come into the land, they have fought, they have won some parts, and some parts they have not. And so Caleb comes to Joshua and says, you remember when we were in Kadesh Barnea, some 40 years ago, the Lord made a promise that he was going to give me an inheritance. And now today the day has come. I want you to do one thing and one thing only. In the land of Canaan, the geography of it, there were some hills here and there. The descendants of Anak, They were not living